Hey folks, so recently Amanda and I sat down with our amazing neighbor, Mary Ellen. Now, Mary Ellen has a fascinating story. She is 73 years old and has recently lost 40 pounds in 4 months by taking control of her own health. So we had to get this story out there to help inspire people that might be in the same situation she is. And Amanda and her sit down and have a great conversation about how she's used diet and fasting to not only affect her physical health, but also her mental health. So let's dive right into this conversation between Amanda and our neighbor, Mary Ellen.
Hi folks, we're here with Mary Ellen, our friend and neighbor. We're over here to talk today about fasting and health and all that good stuff. So I guess, when did you start fasting?
I started fasting October 9th, and my starting weight was 254, and the last time I weighed, it's 209. So I've officially lost 45 pounds in 4 months.
Wow.
And it's the easiest, most wonderful thing I've ever done. I discovered a group called Eat Like a Bear on Facebook, and it's mostly older women. There's some guys on it. And she refers a lot to Jason Fung, that Amanda and Dan are both familiar with. And he's a medical doctor that has just some tremendous insights into fasting and the benefits of it. So Amanda just started losing weight herself, doing intermittent fasting, where she would fast 20, I think she did a 23-in-1 initially. I can't do that because I have had in the past gastric bypass, so my stomach is very small. It's just like, it's a pouch. It's not a regular stomach. So I'm more like 22-in-2 as far as I fast for about 21 to 22 hours every day, and then I will eat my one meal sometime in the afternoon. I'm not really consistent about the time. The foundation of her program, again, with eating one meal a day and then fasting the rest of the hours of that day, is what she calls the RBS. You can have it hot or cold, and that stands for the ridiculously big salad. I generally have quite a bit smaller bowl with the lettuce and any veggies I want to throw in there. Of course, English peas and broccoli. I buy at Trader Joe's. I buy the Cruncherific or something. It's like cabbage and kale, and it's all shredded.
I've seen that.
So I mix that in with the salad.
Yeah.
And then I choose whatever protein I want, and I do not measure my protein. I have as much as I want. I'm able to lose about 10 pounds a month. I mean, a little over 10 pounds a month doing that, eating as much protein as I want. I do have a few berries, the low-carb berries, which I've known about forever. So strawberries, blackberries, and raspberries average around 4 or less carbs per, I think, 100 grams or something. I think it's like 3.5 ounces. And so I'll sprinkle those on my salad. Sometimes the sprinkling gets a little heavy.
Gotta enjoy it.
Oh, you gotta enjoy it. The hot RBS, so you can have it, like I said, cold or hot. But the hot one is basically just a big stew with veggies and then your protein. So nice. I use the low sodium broth. I get at Trader Joe's either the chicken or the veggie broth. And then I'll just throw in mushrooms and broccoli and, sparingly with onions, because unfortunately they're higher carb than the other vegetables.
So you're not suffering. You're getting lots of flavor, lots of good meals, lots of healthy fats probably.
Yes.
So in this next section, Amanda and Mary Ellen really dive into the emotional impact of the obesity, of the poor diet and poor nutrition was having on her. Now this is something that gets overlooked often, about how much poor diet not only affects our physical health, but also our mental health. So this is really interesting, and thanks again, Mary Ellen, for opening up with all this.
I went through about a 2-year period of really mental and emotional depression between 2018 and 2020, the fall of 2020. And all I ate for probably that whole period for sure, and even before that, I ate handfuls of chocolate chips. I ate mandarin oranges and cheese sticks. That was my main source of nutrition. Really healthy, really. And then I would order food to be delivered. So then I would order a salad, or something like that. But all kinds of other stuff, pizza, everything. And just about a week and a half after starting October 9th with the intermittent fasting and 1 meal a day, I lost all my desire for sugar.
Yeah, it's crazy. Once you're kind of released from that too, you feel kind of liberated, like you're not thinking about wandering to the kitchen every hour. So the idea of food as comfort is a huge one, because we're just kind of animals. We're wired to get a lot of comfort from food, and it's not just really emotional, it's neurochemical, as you know, right? And so that dopamine, that constant snacking, it's basically spiking over and over and over. So do you feel more even now that you're not snacking through the day? How do you feel emotionally?
Just like set free. I mean, it is amazing. Of course, at 325 pounds, you're kind of like, it's hard to hide in a room and stuff. And I was working, I was married to a wonderful man. It was a hardship on our marriage, my weight was, because when we got married in 1976, I weighed about 160.
Oh wow.
So that was like my healthiest weight.
Big change,
Big change. And there's a picture of me and my husband there. It was our engagement picture. But as the years went on, and I just kept going to food for comfort, over and over and over again, I just put weight on. You found fasting, but kind of what brought you up to that point? What motivated you at this point in your life to try it? I had just turned 73 when I first discovered this Eat Like a Bear group on Facebook, and I wasn't mentally prepared. In May of 2020 was when I first discovered the group. I wasn't emotionally or mentally prepared because it sounded impossible. The idea of eating 1 meal a day sounded just ridiculous.
Sounds
like,
hard.
What? And then not eating at all the rest of the time. So, and I was going through a lot of depression and just emotional stresses that were related to, a lot of things were weight related, because the self-esteem issue, when you are heavy in this society especially, what's ancient China, they loved fat people, but this is not ancient China. Fat people were considered, they're so prosperous, But in this country, when you are not physically fit and, consequently, you're just kind of shunned by society almost. It's like, there's this constant pressure, I think especially on women, but on men too, to look good, and to be fit, and to fit the mold and stuff. So I've fought that almost my whole life, because I was skinny, I think, for 2 years between the ages of 10 and 12. I think that's when I was skinny. I have a picture of me and my dad, and I looked like a beanpole, and I know that was around that time frame. And then the rest of my life, I've always used food for comfort. Yeah. That's huge. And my husband died in 2006, and I never really dealt with the grief in that whole process. So that sort of pointed me in the direction of unhealthy emotions and unhealthy habits, which of course food was right there for me. And then when I retired at the end of 2012, I lost that cushion that you have when you've got your work family, the people that you see every day. I'd worked there for 20 years, and so I knew a lot of people and stuff. And then I was home alone. Just a movie, I think. But I was home alone and already isolated. I wasn't attending church at the time, although I had a strong personal relationship with the Lord. But I tell you, guys, humans are made to socialize. We are made for each other. We are not healthy if we're off on a desert island and there's nobody else on the island except the monkeys or whatever. I mean, I have always been a social animal, so I just started going downhill.
You're very social.
I'm very social, very social. And
So next, Mary Ellen's going to talk a lot about why this protocol works so well for her. She's tried numerous different types of diets over the decades, and this one just fits her lifestyle very well. So it's important to keep an open mind, try different things, and you'll know when you've tried the right protocol that works best for your lifestyle.
the thing about this program that just is so liberating and wonderful is that I'm not thinking about food all the time.
Yeah.
On Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem, oh my gosh, I can't even think of all the diets I've tried. On all the other programs I've ever been on, including I tried Noom, and Noom was like they
Yeah.
invade your life. You know, they want you to be in parts of groups and all that stuff. And it's like,
So
no,
like
no,
a
no, no, no,
huge
I've got
commitment.
other stuff going on.
Yeah.
But in all those situations, you end up putting so much energy into
Yeah.
thinking about food.
Yep.
On this program that I'm on, I have one meal a day that I have to plan. And I know what I'm going to have ahead of time. I know I'm having veggies and protein.
Yep.
And I know I'm going to love it.
Yeah. And you'll be full and
And I'll
happy.
be full and happy.
and well fed and not
Yes.
missing any nutrients.
Yes,
You're not,
yes. And so it's just been an answer to prayer, literally, because that I knew there was something wrong before. If my mind was so taken up with food all the time, trying to follow these other programs. And so this one is like, I have a life. I was a Weight Watchers rebel, man. I just refused to do all that stuff. And
Yeah.
again, it kept occurring to my brain, wait a minute, I'm trying to get my weight under control. And all I'm doing is thinking about food, writing down stuff about food,
Yep.
documenting, my eating habits and stuff, and not living my life. So that was a big wake-up call, for sure.
You have now the benefit of having gone through the intro and you've seen some profound success. So what advice would you give to somebody who is just starting and they maybe they haven't seen what it's like on the other side?
Okay. I would just say, decide that you're worth it. A lot of the reasons why I did not was because I didn't think it was going to work, number one, and I didn't think I was worth it, and so that I would say decide that you're worth it, that your life is worth it. If you need, talk to like a really good friend and let them give you their perspective. I had, when I was going through my really toughest part of my isolation and depression, had this one girlfriend, and she would call me up and she would say, "Don't quit."
Yeah.
Don't quit. And
Yeah.
I mean, those were the times when I was just in a lot of trouble mentally and emotionally, and I did have thoughts of suicide and think, the thought of like, well, this world might be better off without me, and that's just a lie. The truth is that you are a unique individual that is full of gifts for this world, that you are full of wonderful things to give to those in your family and in your circle of influence, and that all of that is worth you sticking around. That gives you a reason to stick around. And of course my faith, I just knew that the Lord had a purpose for my life because He promises that in His Word. And it's like some people say, well, if I wake up and I'm breathing, God still wants me here for some reason. It's kind of like, yeah, I'm still here, Lord. So you haven't taken me home to heaven yet, so I'm still here. Okay. But I just say stick with it. The first week or week and a half is going to be tough because your body is going to rebel. Your body does not like having its toys taken away. And its favorite thing, if it was sugar, like in my case, when that is taken away, the first few days are not going to be fun. But if you stick with it, you will find your body goes, oh, this isn't too bad after all, because getting all those nutrients and all that wonderful nutrition and a break, with the fasting, you give your body a break because it's not having to just digest food and process and do all this work and stuff. So I would just say stick with it. That's the key. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up.
That's perfect. So this fasting and really kind of revamping your lifestyle and how you really live in the world, even because you're more participating and you're just, you seem so much more lively. So tell me what's coming up next with, what are you hoping for?
Well, I tell you what, before October 9th and starting this program and seeing the success week by week and month by month, I really felt like I was at the end of my life. I felt like that there wasn't much left for me, you know, in terms of being able to integrate with society, to be able to, you know, even like, you know, visit my family and things like that, before COVID, of course. And by contrast now, just barely 4 months later, I feel like I'm at kind of like at the beginning of the rest of my life. And, you know, like the old expression, today is the first day of the rest of my life.
It is.
Why, it is.
Yeah.
And I'm so thrilled at the prospect of travel. My son lives in Spain, and my daughter-in-law, Anna, who's wonderful, all her family's there. She is Spanish. My brothers both live in the South. My one brother's in Alabama, and other brother is in Georgia. I never even thought I would ever fly on a plane again,
Oh,
you know,
wow.
before this fasting and losing all the weight and just becoming so happy to be alive. And that's how I feel today. I just feel like I'm, you know, happy to be alive. I give all the glory to God because He changed my attitude, and He puts this song in my heart every day, and the joy of the Lord is my strength. And I just feel like my future is so bright because of being able to be more mobile. I do need knee surgery, which I plan on having within the next year.
But you couldn't before. There was a barrier because you would have had to lose the weight first. So now you're in a place where all those possibilities are now at your fingertips when you're ready for
That's the key word, Amanda, is possibilities. It's like, instead of like feeling like you're standing in front of a brick wall, which is kind of how I felt emotionally and you know, in every way. Now it's like, the wall's gone, and I'm looking at this beautiful, beautiful green valley full of, you know, cute little farms. And it's like it's almost like a Disney movie or something. I just feel like the future is unmeasurable. Like the future is wonderful. And despite all of the things going on in the world right now, I'm so full of hope and so full of joy and excitement to see what's next.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm so excited.
That's beautiful. Love that.
I really do feel like I have so much more living to do, and now it's going to be possible because of losing the weight and feeling so much healthier.
So thanks for joining us. Thank you so much for opening your heart and telling your story. You have so much experience, and you bring so much honesty and integrity, and I really, really appreciate you letting us kind of view your world and participate, and it's just been a joy and a pleasure. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I'm just thrilled to have the opportunity to share my story, and hopefully there'll be some people out there that will benefit and just say, hey, if she can do it, because guys, 45 pounds in 4 months with no exercise.
Yeah,
pretty good.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much.